AlJ Menon is a visiting senior fellow at ICS Yusuf Ishaq Institute, joining us live from Manila to talk about these Asian economies, right? And we're now hearing that Vietnam has called for talks with Washington. Thailand's prime minister said that they would be pursuing negotiations. What can these Asian countries offer in return to Trump, and what do they have to use as a negotiating tactic?
I think, these countries have responded very quickly because of the size of the tariffs that have been applied on them. This has been a very unfair calculation that the Trump administration has made based on a bilateral trade deficit, not on reciprocal tariffs, as the name suggests. So these countries are looking for ways to bring this down, and I guess they're offering better access to their own markets. But there's no way in which this can actually work out. All I think they're hoping for is they pander to the U.S. interests and in some way to the ego of President Trump, which has worked in the past with other countries, and have him or his administration reconsider these nonsensical tariffs.
Do you expect them to go ahead with retaliatory tariffs?
I don't think the Southeast Asian countries will retaliate. China has retaliated. China is a big player, and they have a different approach to these things. This is not the ASEAN way, as they often say. And also, I don't think they feel that it's the right response. In fact, it's not. Tariffs hurt the country imposing them even more than other countries. So retaliating is actually shooting yourself in the foot, economically speaking. There might be political economy grounds because this is often seen as an unprovoked attack on your sovereignty, and quite understandably so. But from a economic point of view, a national economic interest point of view, there's nothing to be gained by retaliating.
Look, correct me if I'm wrong here, but 6 of the 9 Southeast Asian countries listed by Trump were actually slapped with much bigger than expected tariffs of between 32% and 49%. I mean, economists say those are pretty big numbers. What can these economies do? What can they do to sort of mitigate the impact that these tariffs are going to have on their economies?
Right, you're absolutely right. I mean, Cambodia has a tariff of 49%, Vietnam 47%, Laos 48%. I mean, these are the poorest countries in the region being hit with the highest tariffs for no good reason. What can they do? Well, Cambodia and Vietnam have already written to the president seeking his indulgence and offering further cuts in their own rates. We'll have to see if that works out. Apart from that, nothing much they can do in the short run, but in the longer term, they'll have to look at diversifying their trading partners. In other words, moving away from the U.S. and the erratic and highly unpredictable nature of U.S. trade policy to more sensible and reliable trade partners that don't come out of the blue and impose these huge punitive tariffs for no real good reason. These are not reciprocal tariffs. These are tariffs designed to try and balance trade on a bilateral basis. And there's no way in which Vietnam will buy the kinds of goods that the U.S. is producing. They're not at that level of income or development. And the same applies to Cambodia, Laos, and other poor countries.
Okay, we will leave it there. AlJ Menon, thank you so much for speaking to us from Manila.
Thank you so much, too.